Okay, the first flip that we're gonna do is right up here. So when I open this door, there's gonna be some archers that come out and you're gonna see this big dragon head. There's a couple ways to do it. And the first way is right when you come in here, if you're fast enough, you can just start with the skip and dart across. That is very, very, very punishing if you miss it. So I'll show you what that looks like, because I'm probably gonna miss it. Yeah. So I was a little slow, as you can see, and now I'm all the way at the bottom and I have to run all the way back up. So we'll just fast forward to the part where I'm back up. Okay, we are back. So what I like to do up here is I like to have my bow out, and it only takes one ET charged arrow in the head to kill the ninja, or just a fully charged UT anywhere and it'll kill them. So there's going to be 2 on the left and 1 on the right. So we got to kill them and then we can do the skip. Okay. So what you're going to do, what I like to do, is I like to be just a little off to the right of the rail here in the middle, this middle post, and I'll have some visuals. And I like, so you just will continue to walk forward, you'll jump, shuriken, flying swallow. Hold forward the whole time. So now that you're here, we're gonna kind of go over where you can walk without falling. So it's very small, right? I can't go off up by his eye without doing some dashing or anything. I'm holding back and I'm not running off, so that's good. Something to keep in mind. So what makes you fall is if you dash or jump. So I like to hug a little right here, kind of where his eyebrow starts, and I like to dash jump. So that was a little, I was holding right a little too far. And then what you do when you get up here is you're going to keep opening your weapon menu and canceling with B until you don't see Ryu anymore. So it's going to be pretty fast, so I'll have to slow it down. So right now, you can't see Ryu. So if you pick a weapon, nice. So that's what it looks like when you do it, when you mess up your dash jumping. So it can be pretty particular. So you just want to dash forward and then jump. So swap weapons. Not holding any direction while doing that. Now I'm inside, and I didn't have to go through the area where you have to go and collect those items, put them in here, shoot this orb, then it'll come down. So all I'm going to do is just going to walk. You can dash if you want, or I guess I have to jump. So now you're through, and that saves you a whole bunch of time as far as having to fight a whole bunch of different guys. Okay, this skip up here that we're going to be doing is called balcony skip. So at this point, you want to be careful not to fall down all the way down there. Scoot up all the way down there, because you'll spawn dogs and it will make Ryu auto target them when he's throwing shuriken or shooting the bow. So you can pick up the chest here. Normally it's red elixir here. So what you're gonna do is you just need to get in the corner like this, have the bow selected and the dragon sword, and you're gonna jump, and you're gonna shoot at right at the peak of his height. You're gonna jump and then shoot and push Y with the dragon sword. So the first one I did was about right, but it was a little low. So what happens is you go over this fence right here and you'll be out of bounds if you do it right. The lucky thing about this is there's arrows right above us If you want to go get them, they're on that ladder. Go climb all the way right above us. There's some arrows for you to keep practicing. So here, I'm going to do exactly what I was telling you. I didn't hold any direction other than to jump towards the wall. And then I held right to run up the wall. And we'll slow it down. We'll break it down about how or where his feet need to be for you to succeed at this. So see, the dogs are spawned now and they're trying to get here. I'm considered out of bounds right now. So, you know, I'm walking on nothing right now. So we need to follow this way. If you go too far in, you'll go out of bounds because eventually that's where you're supposed to be. So we'll follow along here. And then you don't want to exit this building on the left. You don't want to go that way because it'll take you inbounds. So what we do here is you're aiming for this. You're aiming to get inside this line of this whole window right here, this box. Right inside there. That's what you're aiming for to get Ryu in. If you go too far left, you will clip inbounds, and I'll show a clip of that. Okay, this is to show you what happens when you're too far left. So I'm gonna aim in a pretty specific spot between these two right here, these two posts, not the boxed window that I was telling you about earlier. So this is gonna be if I'm a little too far left and how it'll lose you a lot of time. So now I'm back inbounds. I can't get back over there, and you have to proceed like normal. It just spawned the enemies, and then you have to go through the normal way. But if you're doing like your no reset run or anything like that, you can't go back out of bounds and skip this whole thing. You just have to continue and go through it like you normally would. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to get within this box. It's kind of hard to tell. I'll draw it out. So we're gonna have the dragon sword and normal shuriken. So the good thing is if you're too far right, it'll just respawn you right back where you were standing. So we're just gonna stand about, it's hard to tell. There are some tiles on the ground. But anyway, you're gonna stand, yeah, so there, see how I just fell back inbound or out of bounds. We're gonna jump, shuriken, fly, and swallow. And I want a better angle, so I'm gonna try to do it like this, where I'm straight at it. And I'm just gonna hold forward, jump, B, and then fly and swallow. So that's what it looks like when you clip through and you don't fall to the right, or you don't clip back inbounds on the left. So then you can keep dashing, dash jump. Just make sure you don't exit on the left here, because that will bring you inbounds. So now that we're at this point, you don't want to go past these shadows on the left there, because that will bring you back and you'll fight the fiends and you'll go through a cutscene, and that's really slow. So there's a couple ways to do it. I've started to do it a little bit different, but there's two goals that you would have in mind. One is if you were playing like new game and you want the Spirit of the Devils that's at the bottom of the sewer, you'll land, I mean, it doesn't really matter where you land at that point, but if you aren't going for that and you're playing like New Game Plus or something, or you're just avoiding it, you want to land on top. And I'll show you what I mean by up top, but you want to land pretty much on the upper portion of the sewers. That way you don't have to climb a ladder later. So we're gonna walk around. So there's a bunch of invisible walls that kind of help guide you. So there, I made a mistake, and I fell without jumping, so I just fell. So it can be tricky. Now I'm inbounds. Alright, now that we've made it all the way over again, we're going to aim right where this corner is of the hole over here on the right. We're going to aim right about between that and that lightish part of the rock there. We're going to jump shuriken Y. So we landed up top. Benefits of that are I don't have to worry about these fiends that will chase me, because there's a ladder up ahead that you have to climb to get up here, and the only way to move forward is you have to go through here. So when I move up here, they'll spawn, and I usually wait for them to jump down because they can knock you off. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the balcony skip. So if anything, be too far right, because you'll just respawn right back where you started the jump. All right, this skip is called bridge skip. This one is pretty long-winded, and it's pretty rewarding if you can get it, and it's punishing if you do it wrong in certain areas. So right now I've already gone and killed all the bad guys. So I want you to understand, so when you start the mission or the chapter, we'll go back if I can perform some decent movement. So you start the chapter over there, right? And then you are supposed to go this way to proceed. So we're gonna go over here, and I'm gonna introduce you to this building up front, because this will help guide you on where you're supposed to be. Okay, so we're trying to get to that bridge right there, and we're gonna swim underneath it over here. Okay, you see that there's a doorway right there? So we swim underneath the level once we get that far, and that's a little later in the skip, but I want you to understand where you're at once you start the skip, and we're getting inside this building. Okay, it can get very easy. It's very easy to get lost inside of this skip. So the reason I'm showing this is to help give you a point of reference. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to swim down. You're going to face this wall right here. I'm just going to hold down, push A, hug the corner, and I'm out of bounds, right? That part is easy. So all I did was turn right, and now we can see that building I was just showing you, right? The way you have to do is you have to swim low, right? So if you swim and you don't go low underneath the level, I'm back in bounds now, right? So I can't go inside this building. Just something to keep in mind. We're gonna go under. So all I did was turn right. I didn't do anything fancy. And you see that line where the level is, right? We want to swim underneath that. So I'm going to back up a little bit so I can actually get under it. There you go. So we're just going to aim for that brick right in front of us, and you can tell we're below it. So to give you a point of reference where we're at, that is the boat that's right next to the chest that we were just standing at. You can't see the chest because it has some visual with the water or the land. So we're just gonna swim up. I'm just gonna hold up. So now we're inside the building just like we wanted to. And you can swim, you can water run. The only thing I'd be careful on is if you water run, at least in here, if you're holding right, you can accidentally get back inbounds and have to go back. So here, you can just go forward So this is where the trick gets a little bit complicated. So here it's not very specific on where you need to swim down. You can swim down anywhere on this side of the wall or that doorway. It doesn't matter. You just need to get under it. So you're still out of bounds. So I'm going to get back in the water. Just going to go down right underneath it. That's all you have to do. And then we're just going to go right back up. Okay, so this one, I'm probably going to have to slow it down because the camera is not friendly because it doesn't know what to do. And Ryu kind of slides a little bit in weird ways. So I go incredibly slow. Watch, I won't touch my right thumbstick. That did it on its own. So normally you're fighting it. It's hard to tell where I'm at. So what your goal is I put Ryu right here. Most of his body is out. And I'll show you some clips on what happens if you're too far forward or things like that. And then I'll show you a backup strat. So first we're gonna go for it in the correct way. So we have bow and dragon sword. So we're gonna push Y. I'm not gonna push any direction. We're gonna push Y, B, Y, and we aren't moving. We're just pushing the buttons. Okay, I'm up, right? So, next step is where it's very, you have to pay attention to your screen. So it's like bouncing weird right now, that doesn't matter. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the shuriken. Make sure you have Ryu facing parallel with the rail on the right across the bridge. So there's gonna be a small load that happens because it's deloading the first part of the level that you were in, and it's loading the second part up here, okay? That is how you can move forward with this skip. So I'm not moving. I haven't moved. I haven't touched my left thumbstick since landing up here, okay? And I'll show you where we're at. All right, we're inside this wall. My camera's acting weird because it doesn't know what to do. So, like I said, we're gonna aim parallel. Oops, I accidentally touched my thumbstick. My headset got in the way. Okay, and all we're gonna do is just gonna throw a couple shurikens. So you'll see the game audio kind of goes quiet, and then it, like right now, the camera's being weird. So we're gonna throw a couple. You'll see it kind of stagger a little bit, and it's just kind of thinking because it's loading the next half of the map. There you go, right there. So when Ryu didn't move like in a fluent way, it was doing a quick load. So now we've loaded the next part of the level, and all we're gonna do is turn around, and then I just hold forward and jump. So there's a couple ways you can continue this trick. So if you're doing new game and you want this spirit of the devil that this guy has right there, you can go up and grab it, and then I'll show you that skip. Here is how you move on to the next part of the mission. And you just need to get inside of this line of the water, and you're gonna do the same thing. You push Y, B, Y. So I won't do that right now because we eventually have to do it. So we'll do it right here. We're gonna grab this item. So now if you are paying attention, you'll see the first half isn't loaded anymore, right? So this is what you want. If you come to this point and you see that this is, this bridge is connected to the first half of the map, you didn't do the skip correctly. So it's something to keep in mind for when you're practicing this. So what we're gonna do to get back to be able to continue through the level to this little castle over there is you don't have to fall any particular way, just fall at the end of that. And then all we do is we go underwater, and then we just go forward. That's all you have to do. All I did at the end of that bridge is I did a 180, I went underneath the level, and we're just swimming forward. So you'll be able to tell. So see, this is where we were. That's where the guy is. We're just coming from a different direction. So you'll know when you're in, when you get to this water line that you can see how it's a box. Once you're inside of that box, you're good to go swim up. There you go. So that's the next part. And then you don't even need the bow. You can just Y and B with shuriken. And now we're in the next area. We skipped a whole bunch of fights, skipped the water, and that is how you do this skip. Okay, I'm going to show you what it looks like when you haven't loaded the next area yet by going up to this gate and being all the way upstairs on top of the bridge. I'm going to show just like if you accidentally clip back inbounds real quick. So this will happen, and you can't re-enter from here, but I haven't loaded the next area of the level yet, right? So these guys aren't going to spawn, which is awesome because they're frustrating in the water. So we can just follow right, and I'm going to be hugging along an invisible wall right here, and I'm just going to keep hugging right with a little forward momentum, and then eventually I'm free, right? So I can run just like I want. And this is a good backup in case you accidentally get back inbound. So we haven't loaded yet, so I can do that as many times as I want. The only time you can't do it is when you load the game and then you fall back out or something. So let's see if I can do it. So I'm gonna try to do it where I'm really far forward, I accidentally spawn the area, and then I fall off the bridge. Pretty sure I need to be really far forward. Okay, well, I'll load it. There you go. So loaded right there. And now you can't do it at all, right? So I gotta go skip these guys real quick and I'll show you. Because now it's just like, okay, yeah, you went through the gate, great. Here's the next part of the level. See, now it's all loaded, and then these fiends are gonna spawn. Alright, this is Airship skip. So at this point, I've already killed all the enemies, which you have to do. The one important thing, the skip happens right here, and we're gonna go over that, but I wanna show you what you have to do to load the next area. You have to kill these guys, otherwise they're gonna be in your way. Okay. So the next thing you have to do is you have to just open this door, and then that will trigger the game to load the next area. Because what happens is in a full game run, if you don't open this door and you just go to do the skip, your game will freeze in a couple rooms, and you're gonna get upset. Trust me. We've gone through and we've tested this. You have to at least open this door. You don't have to kill the enemies inside. I'm gonna kill them because we're going over how to do the trick. But you have to open the door, and then you can just start back. Alright. You don't have to do anything else. So we're gonna come back here. So this one is interesting because it's very, very specific about where you're at. So it might take me a couple tries. So what we do is we are hugging the right spool over here, and we are walking forward slightly right, kind of a top right diagonal, and then we dash and pull up the weapon menu. So if you do it correctly, you'll do this weird thing where we use glitching like crazy. So right now I'm sliding, and I'm gonna get back in bounds. So that was it right there, and all you have to do is just swap weapons once you get to that point. So you do have to do it a little bit quick as far as the next step. But me just standing there, it will just slowly push Ryu back in bounds. We're gonna try again. So that one, too far right. The one before that was too far left. The next step is you're gonna dash forward, and then you're just gonna keep pulling up the weapon menu, and then B until you see Ryu inside. So I moved forward. I'm gonna swap my weapons. No, I didn't. That was close though. There we go. So now I'm not gonna sit there and slide. I am technically not within bounds. So you have to do one more clip through this wall. So we're just gonna dash and then pull up the weapon menu. And then you just want to make sure Ryu's body is through the wall when you select your weapon. If not, you're just going to keep doing this until you see his body through the wall. So I'm going to show you the wrong way first. And the wrong way is you go directly across. There's two ways you can do it incorrect from this point. Is you can go right back inbounds to where that chest is, or you can go right back inbounds to where that floor is. Okay? So that is one way. And then the other way is a lot longer of a walk. So you don't have to use shuriken to make the jump. I recommend not using shuriken because if you aren't killing those guys way up there that we killed when we opened that door, they are going to walk all the way here to follow you. So if you throw shuriken when you jump, he's going to target them and it's going to ruin your jump. So that's what it looks like if you try to use shuriken. So that wasn't correct, right? Because I'm on the other side now and I have to go all the way back and try again. So what the goal is we are going to land down there behind that door. That was interesting. I didn't dash. Okay, so what I do once you enter it is I walk a little off to the side over here, and that's okay. I can spawn right back up here. So we're gonna aim kind of right in the middle of that big black area right there. Right? So we're not gonna hug the floor that you can see here or anything like that. We're not going to throw any shuriken. We're just going to jump and do a flying swallow towards the center of the black area right there. And I do a delayed flying swallow, otherwise I might go all the way back. So at this point, the next thing you do is you just open this door and you go and proceed. Hopefully that helps with airship skip. Alright, this one is one of the simpler clips, so we're just going to get rid of these doggos. And in a run, you do want to get rid of them, they are annoying. So this one is very simple. You are just going to keep dashing until you see Ryu get behind, and see how I'm like in two places at once kind of. So once you just dash behind it and hold right a little bit, all you need to do to get officially out of bounds is I just do the weapon menu. And then when I see Ryu is inside the wall, I just select my weapon, and that's where I'm at now. So I like to pick the Dragon Sword here, because at this point, right here, where I can't move anymore, I just hold forward Y, and he gets through it. Not everyone does that, but that's what I like to do. So what we do is we're going to follow right about here. So you'll keep falling. Where is it? Right there. You'll just keep falling over and over if you're not in the right spot. So it's good to follow along right here, along this side of the floor. Oops. The color on the right that we're standing on. It's good to follow that. And then you don't have to do anything. I can just run across here. Oops. Maybe not exactly there. And that's it. That is that skip in its entirety. So what triggers the enemies is Ryu walking through that doorway and that gate coming down, and that will lock that exit over there. So by skipping that, you don't have to fight these guys, and I can just walk through. And we're on to the next area. That one's pretty forgiving. Okay, this one is Jungle Skip. So what we're gonna need is a Dragon Sword, and then the bow. So normally here you have to fight all these military guys, and you have to get a key to unlock this gate up here. We're just gonna go under it. You don't have to go super fast across. So what you need to do is you just get to this corner down here, and then you just swim down. That's it. You just keep holding down, pushing A. Okay, at this point, we're outside of the level. This is the gate that keeps you from moving forward to the next area. So we're just gonna follow the perimeter of it. You see how I'm kind of bouncing off of it a little bit? Just follow that all the way to here. And we're just gonna keep swimming, maybe a little lower. Too high. There we go. So, at this point, we're still out of bounds. You want to follow, there you go. You want to follow until you see it load the next area, or render the next area. And we're just going to swim, until we're under this right here, which is the tunnel that you normally would swim in. So our goal is to get to all of those little slats. That's where the trees are. Apparently I'm disconnected. We're gonna try to get inside these trees. So what is very punishing about this skip is it will freeze your game if you go too far. So we're gonna barely get inside all these little 2D, you know, images of the tree. Okay. So just gonna swim. I like to slowly start going up. There you go. So we can take a quick look. It's hard to tell where you're at, right? So we'll slow down and we'll go over the video on where you're at exactly. This is pretty forgiving if you're within the trees like I am. You see a bunch of different sides of all these trees. I haven't moved. I'm just gonna push Y, B, Y, and we're gonna see where we're at. Oh, I didn't even have to push B. So, you can land anywhere inside. Whoops. I'm kidding. Okay. You can land anywhere along this tree line right here, and then just hop back in bounds. Where it gets annoying is if you're really far left and you land somewhere in the water over there, and that doesn't help you. So I landed about here, and then all I did was push Y, and then I didn't even have to shoot the bow, but that's what you typically do. And then you move up here to where the worm is. So I'm going to show you what it looks like next when you go too far forward. Because you would rather be too soon than too late. Okay, so remember our goal is within these trees over there. So I'm going to swim too far, and I'm going to show you that it will freeze your game. So I'm just going to keep going. So you see this line? Once you get past that line, and you keep going, so two things can happen there. Is it will respawn you all the way back to inbounds. What am I doing? There we go. And the other is freezing your game. I think it was because I was too far right, so I'm just gonna keep going forward towards the trees like you normally would want to. There you go. So because I was too far right, it just respawned me, which is fine. When you go straight past the trees and you keep going, it will sit here and it's frozen. I mean, the best thing you can do is quit and reload your save point if you had one. Anyway, so that is the con of trying this and not doing practice before you do a full run. And that's the worst one for all these skips. Okay, this one is called Flail Skip. So at this point, we don't have the flails yet. And it just so happens the flails are right up here, right before the skip you use them on. So this is right after fighting the worm. Alright. So the flails are right here. We're gonna swap to those. And then where we're gonna go is we're gonna go over to that corner where that tree is going into the water like that, right? So we're gonna go over there, try to avoid these fish. So what we're going to do is we have flails equipped, and when you see Ryu, you're gonna try to do this climb, but you're gonna do it in a way that he doesn't complete it. So you're going to hold the direction towards it and see how he keeps wanting to climb, but he won't. So while you're in the air like that, you're gonna be holding up, kind of up left with your left thumbstick. And then when he goes to grab, you're gonna move your thumbstick forward. There we go. Sometimes he will target the fishy. Okay, so at this point, we're out of bounds. So what you do, I just wanted to showcase where you want to go and how you know you succeeded at this first part. So when you land here, you're good. That's where you want to be. So what you do is you just mash Y with the flails. When you rotate Ryu, come on, man. Come on, man. Stop playing with it. Oops, wrong corner. So they can't reach you over here. So right when Ryu grabs, you're gonna push your thumbstick from top left to just forward. And then you'll see him face that corner that you want, and you just push Y over and over again. Next part is Dragon Sword, normal shuriken. Just gonna... You're not gonna do that. So you're gonna just climb over this rock right here. So now I'm over in the grass. I just did 1 jump, 2 jump, and then we're gonna try to land on this platform right here. We're gonna do shuriken, fly, and swallow. There we go. So there's a little bit of a, you know, visual image going on with him kind of teleporting over here at the end. So it's kind of forgiving. But if you don't, then it's a pain, because then you'll just do this and keep falling. So next is we just want to make it past these stairs, that rail wall right there. We just want to get past that. That's it. And now we can just run forward. Keep running. I haven't turned any directions. So, oops, I'm inbounds. So, what you do is you just keep running, and then you can just come over here and trigger the cutscene, and you're on to the next part. And that's it. 2 jumps with a shuriken, fly and swallow, with another shuriken, fly and swallow, and then you just water run all the way here. Okay, this skip will help us skip a boss fight with one of the dragons here. This is when you're on your way to getting to Elizabeth. And this will save a bunch of time, and it'll make sure that a bunch of ninja don't spawn on this big staircase. So over here, all we're gonna do is we're gonna run over past these guys, trigger the cutscene. So normally here, you have to go land on that, set it off, get the key right for there, and then it'll open. So what we do is we hug right here, this corner. Right, I'm in this corner, at least when you're holding forward this way. So I turn my camera over here, and you're gonna wall run up, and then you're going to use the bow and push Y just like the balcony skip. So the goal is to get up here and not stay too long, because you will slide. There you go. The next thing is the safest way to make sure you're gonna make the jump is to keep the scythe out. So our goal is to not touch this right wall right next to us. We want to go forward into this wall in front of us. So when we jump, we're gonna try to go over, and when we see Ryu do his flip that he's trying to make it over but can't, we're gonna push X with the scythe, B with the bow, and then Y, and we should make it. We're gonna hold forward the whole time. And now we're over. And then you just proceed up the stairs. And there isn't any enemies until a couple flights of stairs. I believe they spawn right after this one. Yep. Alright. This skip is right after you get the key. And at this point, we're on our way back to go through the Hayabusa village. So here we'll have a bunch of Rosetsu spawn and a bunch of ninja. So our goal is to get in this corner right here on the other side, right? When you go through this door, we're gonna cut right, and we're trying to get Ryu to fit through this open area right here between the doorway and this rail. And then once you are able to do that, we're gonna run very far back and despawn everyone. So this trick is pretty reliant on Rosetsu giving you the right attack, and Incendiary Shuriken Ninja just not being a pest. So let's try it. So we're just gonna keep dashing over here. Hopefully one of the Rosetsus come over. So he's stuck on the corner. There we go. So we want him here. And then we just got pushed out. So I'm gonna send out the ninja. Okay. Okay. I didn't have to do any weapon selections. So he pushes through. So we're gonna deselect him with red bumper on the camera. And everyone's gone. So that skip. That skips the boss fights. It takes a long time usually, but you can get lucky and save a significant amount of time compared to fighting them. So it's kind of up to you on what you prefer. Anyway, that is that. Skip. All right, and that is all the skips for Ninja Gaiden 2 Out of Bounds. We're going to be going over and making more videos for Ninja Gaiden 2 and other games that I enjoy. So if you like this one, go ahead, leave a like and subscribe. And if you have questions or you're confused about something, go ahead and drop a comment, and we'll try to help you out. And if you want to get into Ninja Gaiden 2 speedrunning, go ahead and check the description, and I have the Discord invite out there, so you can go ahead and join and get into helping us route it better, or ask more questions or share more information. That way we can work on archiving this. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.